Hello everyone. This video is going to be about the gay marriage debate, my feelings on it, and a little bit of philosophy maybe. All around the world, especially in the United States, you have a ingrained fear of people who are different. Um, One of the largest manifestations of this in the United States is the fear of homosexuals. This fear is clearly part of a religious tradition, as the opponents of gay marriage almost universally will quote the magic storybook. They leave out a couple of things. First of all, the magic storybook's condemnation of homosexuality has kind of been lost in mistranslation. People will always talk about Sodom and Gomorrah when talking about um, homosexuality, claiming that Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed because homosexuals lived there. If you actually read it, it says Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because it was an immoral place. People did not help each other. Yeah, it says that. There's a passage about how homosexuals in Sodom and Gomorrah were just something God could not stand. Well, the word used for it was actually a word that referred to religious prostitution. And if you actually read the passage in detail and read the chapter in full, it will go into detail about how sexual idolatry is a grave sin. And it focuses a lot on that aspect. So, that's the first point. And the second point is, why are biblical values something that makes any difference on the recognition of marriage? I'm a libertarian. I believe in a couple of things. First of all, if the government doesn't need to do it, it shouldn't do it. And second, the government really, really needs to not marry itself to anything. Corporate power, religious power, morality. Government should be government, and only government. The Founding Fathers said this very loudly. My proposal, as a resolution to this whole thing, is marriage is a religious ceremony. It always has been a religious ceremony. It is a religious ceremony where the god of whatever religion says that he or she agrees to the union. Since it is a religious ceremony, my question is, why does the government recognize any marriages? Here is a proposal. If two adults live together, they don't even have to be romantically involved. But if two people live in the same home, they receive the benefits that currently a married couple receives, federal and local. They don't have to be romantically involved. They don't have to sleep in the same bed. They could hate each other, but they live in the same house. Because that's really the benefit we're paying people for with those tax breaks. My point is, there is a person that is not even represented in this argument. What about the guy who can't get a date? Isn't it tyranny to not allow him benefits? If people can date and get married, what about people who just don't aren't interested in a lasting relationship? Why are they excommunicated from this set of benefits? This isn't to downplay the plight of the homosexuals. I also see them as oppressed. In my mind, the government should grant these benefits to adults living together, period. Adoption benefits should be judged on a case-by-case basis, and the makeup of the family should only come into play when the safety of the child is at hand. Most actual studies, and I'm not talking about religious studies, but actual studies of children raised in single-sex homes show that the children are at no greater risk than those raised in heterosexual homes. So adoption, I feel, should also not have this bias. Now let's get on to marriage. Marriage is a religious ceremony. Government really needs to stay the hell out of it. In my mind, if you want to get married, and you know someone that would like to marry you, and you know a church that will recognize your union, then get married. And people can protest the wedding, just like you can protest theirs. You can counter-protest. That's what freedom of speech is. And freedom of religion is quite simply that the government does not meddle in religion. And marriage is religion. Please, if you have a comment about this, leave it. I'd like to see what you have to say. Thanks, and peace.